This is Lora Kaasch, co-owner of Agent Operations, where we help real estate professionals just like you. We believe that when you focus on your strengths and outsource everything else, there's nothing you can't do. We've got a great show today, so let's get started. All right, so we're talking about LinkedIn, and we are wanting to build a winning strategy for real estate on LinkedIn. What does that look like? So before we go any farther, I want to go over some important resources that will help you in putting this profile together. So first of all, you're going to want to go to agentoperations.net/LinkedIn, all one word, and download two things. You're going to want to download the worksheet, Build a Winning LinkedIn Strategy for Residential Real Estate, and you're also going to want to download the LinkedIn Edits and Enhance questionnaire that I have featured there. It's going to look a little different than this, but it's going to have the same questions on it. And the reason why is it will help get your juices flowing and get some ideas rolling for how you can format your LinkedIn profile. It helps our clients a ton because it fleshes out some of these things that you might not be used to thinking about all the time. So kind of clears out the cobwebs, if you will. So make sure to grab those two things, the LinkedIn Edits and Enhance questionnaire, and then the worksheet. So let's go ahead and roll on the worksheet here. So we've gone through some of these other things. Preface to our conversation, these three little dots are the mini marketing plan that I mentioned earlier in this class. So that's what those are. That's the answer to that. Already also put forward here, we talked about the profile photo and why it's important, along with the cover image and background image, the sizing for both of those, so you have that handy, and make sure that your contact information does appear on that cover photo. All right, so we're optimizing your LinkedIn profile headline. Before you start, number 4, I would like for you to complete the questionnaire, that downloaded questionnaire from our website. It's going to ask things like, who's your ideal client? What are your biggest strengths? How would clients describe you in 3 words or less? So it'll get your kind of brain oriented to really thinking about content. And that's what we want to talk about. So your LinkedIn profile headline, we're going to optimize that. And why should we optimize your profile headline? Well, you might have heard me say before, but LinkedIn is like a search engine. It's a search engine kind of in the same way that you search for things on Google. And so with that, keywords come into play. Keywords are very important in LinkedIn when you are building out your profile and your strategy. So you're going to want to understand that your headline must contain keywords about you because it triggers the LinkedIn search engine. So if you look at mine, for example, this is my headline. There's a couple of reasons I roll with it this way. Agentoperations.net, I want my contact information to be so easy for agents and real estate professionals to find. Real estate marketing is basically one of my just long-standing hashtags. At transaction management, we do transaction management here in Central Texas. We do logistics in Central Texas as well, which is sign and lockbox installation. But I also want on there a piece about faith and a servant's heart, because I do believe in that. Giving to others is one of the most important things to me. So, but this headline is really, really important because, again, it does trigger LinkedIn's search engine. So let's talk through the worksheet portion of this. Just below your name, right here is where we're at. Just below your name, your headline is one of the most prominent and valuable positions on your headline or on your profile. So important. Let's go to number 2. Words used in your headline are given extra weighting in LinkedIn's search algorithm. So just like Facebook has an algorithm of how they show content or don't show content, LinkedIn has an algorithm as well. Next, the headline provides prospects with a concise statement of who you are and how you can help them. So in other words, you're going to want to think about that mini marketing plan that you completed with us. And you're going to want to think about your ideal clients. You want to think about the audiences that you're talking to. And you want to put together a concise statement of who you are and how you can help them from point A to point B, or from facing challenges to guiding your clients to a solution and making them the hero of their own stories. Next, a compelling headline improves your findability when you use strategically placed keywords. Just like we were talking about, the keywords are huge on LinkedIn. So make sure that your headline has those keywords. And we're actually going to be writing a headline in one of the videos here. So I have a little exercise that should help you writing that headline. But for now, we just know it's important. All right, next, the headline encourages prospects to scroll down to review your entire profile, where they can see your full story and find a reason to engage with you. So what you always want to do is get them to learn more, read more about you, look at your experience. So that headline has to be captivating and get them further down the page, because it's so professional, or it's so put together, or it's so interesting, or it's packed with keywords. Next, it's called a headline for a reason, and you have 120 characters, that's what goes in this, 120 characters to share a compelling story about why you do, about what you do and why you do it. Characters also include spaces and punctuation, so be aware of that. Now, another rule of thumb too that's really important as you're considering your headline is the first half of those 120 characters must be compelling. Okay, we're back taking a look at building a winning LinkedIn strategy for residential real estate. And I just figured out how helpful it would probably be if instead of just providing spaces, that I actually started typing in some of these answers. So this is a quick snapshot of the answers that we've covered so far. So these are all the answers that we kind of talked about in the other parts of the video. So next up, we are due to identifying your keywords. We want to identify 4 to 7 of your best keywords that describe who you are to your audience or audiences. So here are some ideas. First of all, points of distinction. What makes you different? What's your unique selling proposition? What do you do differently for clients? How are you different? Everybody can hand over keys to a house. What do you do differently in that process? What does it feel like? What does it look like? Don't just tell them, what you do, but really kind of try to draw in that emotion or showing what you do differently. Next, a thing that is really helpful in the keywords, identifying your keywords, is your skills. Is there any potential or particular skill sets that you have that make you different? Are there designations that you've worked hours and hours for, or compiled transaction volume for in order to get them? What are those? Those are important. Then you want to also think about, what are your authorities? And what we mean by that is, what are you an expert in? What part of the process, or parts, or all the process, or different things along the way, what are your strengths and what you have command over that particular material? Like what are you an authority figure on? Now, the next one that's great for keywords and helping determine your keywords is, how do you help your clients to be the hero of their own stories? You want to be the guide. You want to allow them to be the hero. So how do you do that? Show people what you do that. And the key is you have to do it in 120 characters or less. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to use this character grid in order to plan out your content. So each little square here is one character. So, and you've got to make sure that the first 65 to 70 characters of your headline really are the most meaty, really, because that's what people are going to see in the preview. If you're in a list of results with other candidates or other profiles, it's going to show 65 to 70, the first 65 or 70 characters in that headline preview. So you really want the most meaty keywords, the things that you want people to see in those first 65 to 70 characters. One thing that is huge is to review for spelling and grammatical errors. It's just all about putting your best foot forward. Now, one thing I'm going to add in here is Grammarly is an app that we use, and it's phenomenal. It is changed. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I've always been a good writer. I'm just a content creator by nature, but Grammarly has taken my writing to the next level. It has really taught me a lot about more of the technical writing, which that's probably not what you're into, but what it does is it's just a safeguard that makes you look good on paper. It really does, because it checks stuff automatically for you. It's way better than spell check. Way better, just hands and above. It looks for a lot of different things. So check out Grammarly. They do great. Next, you want to, once you have kind of answered all of your questions here, all of these suggestions, you're going to want to go ahead and craft your headline here. And then once it's to a place of where you like it and you've got it and you're happy with it, you want to then update your headline. So let's do that. Thanks for listening. Hey, we love your comments too. If we've helped you, be sure to screenshot and tag us on social media at Agent Operations. You can also join our community by subscribing to updates at agentoperations.net/subscribe, or just click that little red subscribe button on YouTube. This is Lora Tucker Kaasch, co-owner of Agent Operations, where we help real estate professionals just like you focus on your strengths and outsource everything else. Faith, passion, purpose. Until next time, friends.